Hey everybody, this is Moose here, and I'm back doing another interview. It's been a while, but here I have with me is MM Animations. You might know him for being on YouTube as a stop motion animator and a voice actor. So thanks for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, like I mentioned, you're a stop motion animator that's been around in the community for a long time. And
hmm
usually I ask anybody who's been an animator is, what inspired you or who inspired you to start animating in the first place?
Who inspired? I got really big back into Marvel comics back in it might have been 2014, and back then there wasn't too many. There wasn't a lot of Marvel animation, not like there was today. Some of the bigger ones that inspired me was Counter 6 5. I don't know the numbers. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Counter,
yes, yeah, yeah.
Trick Shot, DGDX animation. And those were like the big. Oh, and Swag Wave, obviously. Those were the biggest names,
Mm-hmm.
their series has kind of inspired me to do my own thing. Because Justice Assembled by DGDX Animation in particular was what really pushed me to start doing Marvel stuff, and you know.
Now, well, speaking of Marvel stuff, you're also well known as being a well-known Spider-Man voice actor,
hmm
and so I guess my other question is essentially,
Yeah.
why be a Spider-Man voice actor? Like, essentially, why would you want to voice a character like Spider-Man, and what made you like this is the character I want to be known to be voicing for?
Um, Funny story. Actually, the first video I ever voiced for was, at least that I, as far as I can remember, was for Jacoby Productions, which I'm sure everyone here watching this video knows who that is. And it was kind of like a last minute decision. His current voice actor had just quit on him, and like I was kind of doing it for just for that video to
Mm-hmm.
fill in, and it ended up just kind of going and going and going from there. And why? I think Spider-Man in particular, from any other character, is has a wide has a wide variety of emotions and different scenarios you can play off of. It's fun to voice Spider-Man because there's so many different ways you can do it. There's so many different personality changes and different versions of this character, and the character means something different to everyone. And it's really good to bring all of those different norms to the screen, no matter what kind of if it's a stop motion or 2D animation or anything in that field. And I would say, because Spider-Man means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you, and he means a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us. Because I'd say it's pretty safe to say he's like Marvel's icon. I know Iron Man is big for the movies, and a lot of people know him now, but I think Spider-Man is still the number one over at Marvel. And I just love how we can how all the Marvel fans can come together and band together to love a character, to love a character's stories, and I think that's really cool. So to get to bring uh, so many years of history, to bring my own spin and take on a character like that, it's really cool. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm. And I really like how you, Marquez and Binksworth, also like what you mentioned. I like how the three of you have taken that idea of Spider-Man and kind of reincorporated it and have a new take on the character.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like making his relationships a little different, but also refreshing and something new, and also something that's similar and something that's we've seen before.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, what is it? What made you like? Is there any comics or any storylines or any movies that inspired you, the three of you, to make the Spider-Man stop motions that you've been making currently with the series that you guys created? Is there anything that inspired that at all?
I remember the first episode of the series, which was just supposed to be its own thing at the time, and I just kind of pushed it into being a part of the series. The Spectacular Spider-Man show and the first the Vulture comic, I think I got the title of it. I think it's Vulture's Prey. Uh, Sorry about that. The Vulture's Prey comic. It really inspired that first episode. And then was, of course, with Vulture, and it was inspired just from the comic. With a few of my own touches there, and it was kind of just a solo thing still. And then I guess it was the ending of last year or the beginning of this year. I forget the dates, but I went to Marquez Films with the proposal that we do a collab, and we didn't know what kind of collab we were doing at the moment until we thought about it. So me and Binks Force, great animator. We also had the idea of collabing because we both love Spider-Man and we wanted to make something together. And it hit us we could do a script for Marquez, and he would do the episode, the second episode of this series I had going on, and we would go from there. And we did it. We wrote it. Marquez filmed it. We voiced in it. It was a really good video. There was a little bit of negative feedback to it, but it was mostly positive. Mm-hmm. And then from there, of course, we had like a kind of a storyboard, at least. Like it was from the episode Marcus did all the way to No More episode 2. We kind of had a game plan for like what we were doing. Mm-hmm. So like we kind of knew then that we were going to do the No More arc. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of setting stuff up then so we could finish it off and pay it off at the ending. So of course, No More Part 1 and Part 2 came out a couple of months after the Marcus episode. The No More episode was supposed to be a one episode thing, but I ended up splitting it to 2 parts because because it would have been too long, and a good buddy of mine, Warren, I know he's a friend of ours, told me that he didn't know if people would watch that long video without the title character, Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So I split it up into 2 parts, which ended up being the good option there. And those videos did really well, and we're still working on more episodes, and it's really fun, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming. So I'm glad that everything aligned in a perfect order, so we could do that.
Great.
And I'm just really happy.
Yeah, I really like this series a lot, and like I said, I think for someone I can tell who really cares about the character, you're doing the character justice, by the way.
Thank you.
So I was wondering that, like, not that you can give away anything specifics about the series, but if you could recreate or retell a Spider-Man arc, what would it be?
Without spoiling anything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be about the series. It's just like if within your universe, if you could redo, like, say, the Clone Saga or about the Symbiote Saga, or maybe something obscure, like maybe like his first run-in with the Lizard, the first run-in with Chameleon, something along those lines. What kind of character would you introduce, or what kind of arc would you like to recreate and redo?
There's a few. First of all, before I answer the question, right after we finished, like we wrapped filming for No More, we wrote the finale for season 1. That's in development right now by Binks Force. You obviously knew that, but for people watching, there you go. But for that, we have about 7 to 8 episodes already written, or at least we have ideas for all of those episodes. So it's going to be tricky not to spoil anything. So I'll just be upfront with you. I think Kraven's Last Hunt would be really fun. You said the Lizard. The thing about that is, this isn't a spoiler. We mentioned in the Marcos episode that Peter Parker just got done fighting a giant mutant lizard. That's definitely we're currently working on a prequel episode which would feature Peter's origin and a few other key moments from his career. Okay. And that's actually going to be one of them was Lizard. So I guess things that I don't know about yet that I'd like to do would be Kraven's Last Hunt, maybe. I think I forget the title. Is it the death of Virginia Woolf? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah.
I'd like to do something with that because it was Sin Eater and stuff. and there's another big one that I was wanting to do, because a lot of the classic stories we're already kind of working on in one way or another. So it's like it's hard to say what we would like to do without giving away too much. The Clone Saga would be fun, but I don't know if I would be able to pull that one off, because I know the Clone Saga is one of those classic comic stories that you either hate it or love it.
Right.
And I personally don't see any unique story I could tell there yet. I can, that's subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
Being Source could come up with an idea, or Marquez could come up with an idea, or someone could throw an idea at me, and it could change. But those three would be really fun to do if I could find a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I also think that there's also a lot of people like that I see from your fan base, and also considering that considering how big like a film like Into the Spider-Verse has gotten with the introduction to putting the mainstream of Miles Morales. And I don't know if it is a spoiler or not, but would you like to add Miles into your universe?
Well, I like to add Miles. I would love to add Miles. I've never featured Miles in a video, but I already have a voice actor like solidified, like someone that's gonna voice him no matter what. It's Motion Side Studios, fantastic guy, lovely. He would definitely voice him. I just don't know how I would include Miles. I don't know if I have included the Prowler, and he has mentioned Miles, but I don't know exactly if I want to introduce him yet or how to introduce him yet. Gotcha. However, this was just announced or whatever today on Instagram. Motion Side Studios is working on a video series they're going to be doing later this year called Universal Web, and this is his version right after his series Disassembled, and it's called it's featuring his version of Peter Parker, which is 16, 17, and it's basically kind of a whole Spider-Verse thing, where there's Miles Morales is in it, Gwen Stacy is in it, or Spider-Gwen, and we actually he brought the idea to my attention that he wanted to add mine and Bink's Force's and Marquez's version of Spider-Man as a character. Okay. And me and Bink's Force love that idea, so we said he could, and we gave him creative rights, I guess. So we're gonna let him see what he wants to do with the character, while we have our own input in, obviously, and we're excited to see what he does with it, and then how this humongous thing affects Peter, our Peter, when he gets back into the main, the Amazing universe. So that's really fun. So Miles is in that, but for Miles in the main canon universe, I'm still working on that one.
Okay, that's actually sounds really cool. I really like the concept of the whole multiverse thing and Motion Side, and I really enjoy Motion Side's content. So I want to switch over to when you were talking about content is another type of content you'd like to do is horror, and I can tell that from talking to you personally and seeing the stuff that you posted, like your Bloody Valentine video, your Happy Death Day stop motion, like smaller video, obviously your big video that your Halloween video, and your last video you uploaded was your Child's Play video. A lot of people can base that off that you are a big horror fan. So, so my first question based around that kind of stuff that you like to do is, what kind of genres would you like to tackle in terms of like what kind of franchises? So I should say, what kind of franchises would you like to tackle? Like something like Happy Death Day and Bloody Valentine are it's kind of like smaller. Horror films, and not too many people know about them. They're kind of like, not that well known in the mainstream. So, would you like to do something, maybe like do something like something you haven't seen before, like Jaws, or like maybe like the Leprechaun, like something? Would you like to do something?
The funny thing is, I've done a Jaws stop motion before, but it's all private because it's really bad.
Really, I didn't know that.
I would like to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have everything that I need for that. It's more so with me in animating. I animate when like I get pushed over the edge of motivation. So like when motivation hits me like a train, that's when I hop on stuff. Because I think if you're working on something and you're not motivated to work on it, then it's not going to come out as good as it would if you're in your 100% like motivation state. So like if I were to get the motivation to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing, I could definitely see myself doing it because I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, I was also I'm just asking just because, this was something I remember you uploaded about a year ago, and it was the Office parody of the horror characters, and that was something that a lot of people I saw in the comment section was like, oh, you should make this do a series or something like that. So would that be something you'd be open to doing? Like, would that be a series that you're like, yeah, that could be fun to do, like having like these horror characters taking the place of characters, characters from The Office, or like having the Office style of a show, like of the horror characters. Would you like to bring something like that back?
I mainly did that as I honestly did that as a jump off point to see if people would like that. I don't know if I would commit myself to a full like series of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like if it's requested enough or if it's demanded enough. I could do a one episode pilot and put it out there and see how that does, because I want to make the content that I want to make. But I also want to make the content that I know people that are followers of mine will follow and will like.
Right.
Because if I'm the only one enjoying it, then it's not really me enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good mindset to have, especially with making videos. If you're not having fun and enjoying making the stuff that you're making, then then what's the point of making it? Yeah, why even make it? So. Is there anything that you can tell us, that any horror stuff that you're currently in the works, whether that's in the writing process or actually in the filming process? Is there anything that you can give out at all to your fans or anything?
Writing wise, I have a Friday the 13th. It's a kind of a sequel to my first film, but not really. It's different characters. That's in the writing stage. It's pretty much done. It's kind of done.
Okay, so it's in the same continuity.
Yeah, I mean it's it's kind of playing by Friday the 13th rules. It's I wouldn't really say it's in the same continuity, but if I can find a way to make that make sense, then yeah.
Okay.
But it's kind of done. I gotta finish the ending, but like I said, when I'm motivated, that's when I'm at my best. So I don't want to finish that script when I'm not in the right mindset to actually do it. But that's gonna be my next big stop motion that's horror related.
Mm-hmm.
Small wise, I usually when I do a short, when I do a horror short, just like with my Happy Death Day or my Bloody Valentine, I usually do these shorts if it coincides with like a holiday or it coincides with the release of a film.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments, I just haven't gotten around to responding, say that that's a way just to get views. And to that, all I can say is that's kind of the point, because I'm doing it. Yeah, it's like I'm doing it, because it's fun and I want to try something new, but like I'm releasing it to coincide with the release of the movie, so that movie can get, if it's obscure, maybe my audience sees my short of that and they want to go see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm not going to be the reason that Happy Death Day 3 gets to a billion views or on a billion fucking at the box office. But if my videos can persuade or interest someone to go see something that they've never saw before. That's awesome, and that's why I kind of do it when something's popular, like a horror movie. I kind of coincide with, just like Child's Play. I coincide so people can know that that's relevant. You know, it's something that they've never heard of before, and they can check it out if they want to. And if not, they can, of course, wait till the next video.
Okay. And I think I might have already, like, yeah, I did. I was just gonna say that what I like about you as a person, you as a channel, is that you don't tend to jump on trends. With a lot of stop motion animators, you know, they, and I guess I'm kind of guilty of it, is that, you know, they'll do recreations of stuff, or, you know, they'll, you know, there's like, whatever, for example, when Avengers Endgame came out, a lot of people were recreating, like, the most popular scenes from the movie. And I'm not calling those people out. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all, because I did that. You know, that would be very hypocritical of me to, like, say, oh, that's bad. No, I was just saying that's just, you know, what people did. What you do, essentially, is you essentially create what you want to create, and if it so happens to be something that's in around the same plane of Halloween's coming out, and you have a Halloween stop motion, I'm going to try to get it out around when the movie comes out. You know, I think that's very clever, actually. And that's a very smart, creative move, in my personal opinion.
Something that I decided to do, because as soon as when Halloween 2018 was coming out, I made a Halloween video, and I worked day and night to get that out. The thing that I made sure when I was writing it, you helped me write that. The thing that I even told you back then is I don't want to, because of course there was script leaks, there was leaks, there was rumors all about the movie, and I didn't want to make, I didn't want to make Halloween 2018 stop motion. I'll address the elephant in the room. My Friday the 13th movie is more or less the 2009 reboot, like beat for beat. But in that, I added scenes. I took some scenes out that didn't work, in my opinion, and I had some original voice actors. And so I'm always trying to, if I'm gonna, I guess, quote unquote, do a recreation or something, whatever, I try and make it as different as possible. But in Halloween's case, that was a fully original story. Me and you wrote it, and I'm very proud of that video.
Yeah, me too.
It gave us the cameo king himself, Brandon Woodcock. Yeah, like, I have no problem with people that recreate a movie in stop motion, like almost beat for beat. But it's just, I've seen that before. I want to see something new.
Right.
And I feel what you mean when you say that the trends, because I watched your video in stop motion community, and you mentioned this, and I really agreed with it, because people really do that, and most of the people, they do it because they want to do their favorite scene in stop motion, and that's fine. But for the people that do them just because it's relevant, and there are people like that, I don't see a reason for it. But if they want to do that, then they're free to, because that's their creation, and they deserve to have the free will to do whatever they want on their own channel. But I mean, I'm guilty of it too. The Friday 13th and the Happy Death Day, were both recreations. So I'm guilty of it too. So I'm like, I'm not excluded from that realm of group of people.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for mentioning that video I made on the stop motion community. I think that's one of my most, besides the stop motions aside, I think that's one of my most popularized videos. Just because the community is kind of small, and I wanted to make something where if people didn't know about it, or if more people wanted to learn more about it, or people that are new, or even people who've been around a while, it's just somebody who's doesn't create a lot, who wants to say, this is my input, this is essentially what I've noticed, and this is how I think some of the stuff I noticed can be fixed or, can be improved. Because, I want nothing but the best for the community, and I want nothing best for everyone else that's a part of it. So, so I really appreciate you mentioning that because I was afraid about that video coming out because I wasn't sure wasn't sure how people would respond to that. Initially. I wasn't sure, that if maybe I said the wrong thing or whatever, but yeah, I'm glad that it got a great response out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad too, man. All I want, I'm with you on that one. All I want for the community is for us to all come together and be happy and all be healthy, and just I know it's a little idiotic thinking to think that everyone's going to be, fine with each other, because I'm just going to say it, there are some very immature people out there that don't really give people a chance. And, that's hard to see, because they affect the entire community. Because if they are stingy with who they interact with and who they talk to, I'll talk to you because you have the right amount of subs, but you just started. Do not message me. I'll ignore you. That kind of people, they ruin it for everyone. Because we all are a family, and we should all help each other and build each other up, and no one needs to be taking anyone down. Because at the end of the day, even when a lot of the creators here are gone, when I'm gone. Off the platform, and you're off the platform, people are going to be able to find these videos, they're going to be able to find this interview, and they're going to be able to see the stop motion community for what it was. And I don't want people looking back and seeing it as this place where it's a dog-eat-dog world and no one helps each other out and it's every man for himself. I want people to be able to look back and see it for the sweet community that it is, because there are some very, 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 very sweet people in this community, and I'm more than blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, me too, man. There's just a lot of people that that we've talked to and I've gotten to know over the years, and I guess I would say, even though I've been animating for a little bit for the past about 4 to 5 years on and off, I've also done voice acting too. So I voice acted a lot of people's stuff and. Here and there, and I just like voice acting. I like helping people out when it comes to voice acting. And I think you've done that too, especially with you voice acting for me, and then you voice acting for somebody like Swagwave, or I think you voiced in Swagwave's video, have you?
I did some lines for Swagwave, but I can't exactly say what it was for.
Okay, well,
it's basically what you said,
yeah. So you just helped a lot of people out, and I guess this goes on. This actually a perfect segue to my next question is who is somebody you would love to collaborate with?
Someone I would love to collaborate with. I'm gonna cheat at that question. I think that it would be stellar. I know this would never happen because not everyone can get along. I understand that. I'd like it if the entire community could do a collaboration. But I know that's a big stretch, a big wish, but I think it could be done. I'm currently in a collaboration with Thundercat Studios, Pink's Force, Marquez, Motion Side. That's like 5 or 4 people, all of us combined. That's like huge names because they all mean very much to me, and they. Each one of those guys will touch my heart in one way or another, and to get to work with them it's truly a blessing. I never thought I'd be able to do stuff like this with people like that, and I would just like for everyone to be able to experience that. So if the entire community could do a collab, that'd be amazing. But in particular, I'd like to do I'd like to do a collab with you sometime.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we talked about that. I think we even made a post on Instagram talking about a podcast that we're going to be doing pretty soon. Plug.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, more common.
but you know, yeah, we've even with the little bit of the script that we did for your Halloween video.
Hmm.
Um, so you know, like stuff like that. I love to collaborate. You know, whether that's working on a script or whether that's working with voice acting.
Hmm.
So yeah, for sure. That's really sweet of you, man. I appreciate that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So I guess this goes on to my last question for you.
Yep.
Is essentially, what would you like to say to your supporters and your fans and anybody who's listening who just might just find out about you for the first time?
Okay. For people that probably just now found out about me for the first time, I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you for watching Moose's video. The fact that you support Moose means a lot to me. The fact that you watch this far means a lot to me. And I know it means a lot to Moose. And if you want to check out my channel, you can, but don't feel pressured. Now, for people that have been with me for a while, thank you so incredibly much. And thank you for giving me the chance to improve myself with my work. Without my YouTube channel, without the content I make, and without you guys, I would. I don't know where I would be. I'd probably be in a very much more darker place than I am now. And so you guys give me this creative outlet where I can push this out, see what works, see what doesn't, and it's amazing. And I would have never imagined that someone like me would be so welcome in this community and met with open arms. Thank you for everyone that's ever helped me with voice acting, script writing, anyone that's subscribed to my channel, anyone that's let me voice for them, anyone that has done anything in this community, whether it's with me, for me, or even not. Thank you, because you guys are all amazing. You're fantastic.
That's very well said, man. Very well said. I think that when me and MM first started talking around a few years ago, uh, he told me that he was a fan of mine, and that he was one of the first people that actually told me that they were a fan, and that actually just really blew my mind to me, and I really to this day appreciate he sent me that message, because if he never did, we wouldn't be as close as friends as we are now. And I just appreciate our friendship, and I also appreciate you as a person, and I think that you're gonna go far, man. I really do. I really think so. So I think you're definitely, with your creativity and with your passion, you're like, I being a dead horse, but you're gonna go places.
And side note about the whole fan thing, I just want to put this out there. You can be a fan of somebody, even if you have a high sub count, because I am still a huge fan of Moose. I'm probably Moose's #1 fan. So,
and you have a higher subscriber count than me.
yeah, it's like I see a lot of people saying if you have a high sub count, you can't be a fan of somebody. But you can, because I'm a fan of Moose. I'm a fan of Binks Force, Oceanside, all those guys that I hang out with. So it's whatever. Sub counts. I'll cut this short because I know we're dragging it out, but sub counts never really meant anything to me. So I mean, they do, but I don't really I don't sit here and rack up the numbers and tally up when I'm going to get monetization on it.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on and answering my questions and just being a part of the show, and just so I want to thank everybody who are listening and for watching or listening to another interview. So links to MM's channel and his other social media will be in the description, and so will mine. Please check him out. Please do. He makes a big variety of stuff, whether you're in the horror, whether you're in the Spider-Man stuff, whether you're just in the superhero stuff. He does a big variety on his channel, so And just be a lookout for his new series coming out for Spider-Man. And there's some horror stuff. So, thanks again, man.
Yep, thank you guys, and thanks for watching.